What's up, guys? Before I tell you all who I am, here's a special message from Presley, my niece, on who I am. Alright, say it now.
It's the movie nerd.
That's the movie nerd here. Today, we are going to do a Halloween re-ranking. I did a Halloween ranking. That was my second video I've ever done on here. And that was before Halloween 2018 came out. And I was going to do this with my brother, but we just didn't really have the time to. But nonetheless, I'm here anyway. I'm always here. We're going to do this. So sit back, relax. We're going to review all the Halloween films that has Michael Myers in it, excluding Halloween 3, even though I do think that's a great movie. But we're only going to do the films with Michael Myers. So we're going to talk about this. All right, Halloween re-ranking. We're going to do this, and some things have been shaken up just a little bit, and some things have stayed the same from my last ranking that I did. And this will be the last ranking that I'll do until a new Halloween movie comes out. Then I'll have to do another re-ranking video. But until then, this will be the last ranking of the Halloween franchise that I'll do. And if you guys want me to do more rankings of franchises, let me know in the comments, and I'll see what I can do. But anyways, starting off at number 10 is going to be Halloween Resurrection. So I'm sure most of you were thinking what would be my worst Halloween movie of all time, between Rob Zombie's Halloween or Resurrection. It's definitely Resurrection for me. Busta Rhymes in that movie, it's god awful. Trick or treat, motherfucker. And you don't roundhouse kick Michael Myers out of a window. What the hell were they thinking? This movie makes me want to just claw my eyes out and then feed them to my animals, my dogs. It just makes me angry. The only good thing about Halloween Resurrection was the part whenever Laurie Strode / Jamie Lee Curtis was in it. It's the only good part. And the way they kill her off is, 1, it's unceremonial. 2, it's logically fucking stupid. 3, it's just executed so bad. And it's why would you kill her off that way? It's why? But anyways, I don't want to waste no time ranting about Halloween Resurrection. But going on to my number 9 is Halloween 2. Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 from 2009. The only reason I put Rob Zombie's H2 above Resurrection is just by the performance from Scout Taylor Compton. And, the shots, the cinematography of Rob Zombie's Halloween H2. Those are the only redeeming qualities that I could find. And the rest of the movie is just complete shit. It's loud, unnecessarily loud, really. The way Rob Zombie's portrayed the gratuitous gore in this movie was just over the top. And you had a lot of obnoxious characters. You had the guy at the strip club. You had the guys in the beginning that were carrying Michael's body to wherever it was going. You had Laurie Strode's friends. You had not Donald Pleasance, who am I thinking? Malcolm McDowell playing Donald Loomis. And, no, not Donald Loomis. Oh my goodness. Sam Loomis. There we go. Please, bear with me here. My thoughts are just trying to escape for me. But you know what I'm saying. The characters in this movie were just so obnoxious. Like I said, the only redeeming qualities of the movie were the shot, the cinematography, and Scout Taylor Compton's performance as Laurie Strode. Those are the only good things I liked about this movie. But moving on to number 8 is Halloween 5. Halloween 5 has some good moments in it, but there are also some atrocious moments. And it baffles me that they made Jamie a mute for half of the movie. It's like, and of course there was a lot of drama going on behind the scenes, and there was just like a lot of lazy writing. There was a lot of, just drama, honestly. That's all it boiled down to, honestly. And the mask in that movie is awful. There's just only just a couple good moments, and Donald Pleasance in that movie also was, of course he was batshit crazy, but he was good in his own way, you know what I mean? That's the only reason why I put that above H2 and Halloween Resurrection, because to some people that would be like the worst Halloween movie of all time to them, like with Michael Myers. But moving on from number 8, Halloween 5, we're going to go to number 7, which is Halloween H2O. Halloween H2O is, I can get some enjoyment out of it, watching it, but the mask is horrible. There are some cringy times during the movie, where you're just like, ugh. But I do like what they did with Laurie Strode's character. I liked her character arc in the movie. I didn't really care for her son, Josh Hartnett. Michael Myers is dead. That's my best impression. Everyone does an impression. That's my best impression of that line in that movie. I know it's horrible. Don't judge me. Save that for later. But Halloween H2O had some pretty good moments in it as well. More good moments than bad. Like I said, I can get some enjoyment out of it. But the bad moments, including the CGI mask. What else? The fact that it's not taking place in Haddonfield. The fact that it's way too polished. It's way too Hollywoody. It's way, you can tell it just has a very high production value. And that's not what I want in a Halloween movie. I want it to be dark. I want it to be gritty. I want it to, have a lasting impact on me. Just visually. You know what I mean? And Halloween H2O failed to deliver that on me, and for a lot of people as well. But moving on from Halloween H2O, we're going to go to number 6, and that's Rob Zombie's Halloween. And I'm sure that's a surprise to a lot of people, but let me explain. Rob Zombie's Halloween, even though the backstory was completely unnecessary, and in the director's cut there's a rape scene, also completely unnecessary, during the origin story part. But then again, with the backstory of Myers showing the way and how he became to be so psychotic and so crazy and just a flat out psychopath was actually kind of well done in the theatrical cut, at least. You still had your obnoxious, white trash element to the movie. With what's his name? Ronnie? Is his name Ronnie? It's like, I'm all broken up here, bitch. I can't work. Or, bitch, I will come over there and I will go fuck the shit out of you. But that's all in the first 5 minutes of the movie. It's just like, dude, calm down. It's okay. We're going to get there. Just not choke us within the first 5 minutes of trying to please us. We're not all about that, okay? But, in a lot of aspects, what he did in the backstory and how he dealt with the kills that led him to the insane asylum in Smith's Grove was done pretty well. And the cinematography in it is just, it's honestly one of the best remakes cinematography-wise I have ever seen. And whenever you get to like the Halloween portion of the story, that's when it really like picked up for me. And that's where I really got all the enjoyment out of the movie mostly. And Tyler Mane's performance of Michael Myers is nothing but menacing. And you want Michael Myers to be menacing. He was just in a different kind of way. I wouldn't want to come across that Michael Myers. I'd be running the opposite way. And it's just like, oh my gosh. But yes, not in the top 5, but then again, it's not the worst Halloween movie ever. Alright, top 5 time. Number 5, Halloween 6, The Curse of Michael Myers. Halloween 6, The Curse of Michael Myers, I've always had a soft spot for it. And reason being, it wasn't the very first Halloween movie I saw. The very first Halloween movie I saw was Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers. But there's just something about this movie. It scared the absolute shit out of me whenever I watched this movie. And I like it for a lot of things, really. You know, Donald Pleasant's in it, Paul Rudd. Even though he is rather awkward at moments, I like the style of this movie. It's very dark. It's very gritty. Myers is flat out, balls to the wall, insane in this movie, just killing people left and right. And that strobe light scene when he's killing all the doctors, that's just, honestly, it gives me inspiration one day whenever I want to like start directing and making film, because it's just the way that scene is executed. It's just phenomenal. I can't speak any more highly of that one scene. And I guess you could say some of the negatives. And by the way, from 5 on, I hardly have any negatives about. So from 5 on, they're nothing but great movies. Whenever I was doing, 1 through 5, that was actually the harder part of, instead of doing like, 6 through 10. But, yeah, there's hardly anything I can nitpick about Halloween 6. I guess you could probably say there are still some cringy moments in this movie. I'm really not a big fan of the Man in Black type deal. I know it has its following, but that's just, I'm not really all about cult. That's just me though. But I can appreciate it for what it was trying to do, because Halloween 6 was after the shit show of Halloween 5, and Halloween 5 wrote themselves into a really, really dark corner. And that was, I'm sure it was very hard to try to, actually get out of it. But Halloween 6 was what helped Halloween return to the mainstream. I know a lot of people say H2O did, because whenever Jamie Lee came back, but in my opinion, it was Halloween 6 in 1995. H2O came out in 98, just 3 years prior. But Halloween 6 was what helped Michael Myers return to the mainstream. That's just my opinion, though. But anyways, moving on. Number 4, no pun intended, Halloween 4. Halloween 4 was, like I said, the very first Halloween movie that I ever watched. And young Danielle Harris back then, I always had a little crush on her anyway. I mean, who hasn't? Who doesn't love Danielle Harris? But there's just something about Halloween 4. They did a lot of the same elements from the original 1978 Halloween, but they put them in a very different way. Like, they utilized those elements in a different way in this movie. And honestly, if it wasn't for that mask, this would probably either be 1 or 2 on the list, honestly. That mask is what takes it away. If they had the mask from, Halloween 1 or 2 and Halloween 4, or at least, try to mimic it as much as possible, I mean, you got a damn good scary horror movie on your hands right there. Because that mask from Halloween 1978 is terrifying, honestly. Especially if you put it in the right lighting. But that's my number 4. My number 3 might shock a lot of people, but is Halloween 2018. Halloween 2018, that was the first first Halloween movie, let me say, that I ever saw in theaters. And I was too young to watch the Rob Zombie Halloween movies in theaters, and especially in Resurrection, towards I turned 6 that year, I think, in 2002. So I've always been too young to go watch a Halloween movie. And whenever I heard that they were making Halloween 2018, I was like, I'm there, day one. So it didn't fail to deliver on expectations for me. The only little nitpick is that Dr. Sartain twist that I know most of the people who watched this movie did not like. I can appreciate what they were doing, trying to do something different, trying to add freshness to the story, but it just come across the wrong way. But at least I can appreciate what they're doing, what they're trying to do. But the only reason I don't give it as much hate is quick they brought it in, was as quick as they took it out. Because I loved it when Michael stomped on his face. Even though that's not really realistic, but, you get a little ha moment. And as soon as you see it for the first time, you're just like literally, oh, son of a bitch. But, yeah. And moving on, we're in the top 2 now. Can you guess what my number 2 is? Yeah, you guessed right. Halloween 2, 1981. Halloween 2, 1981 is literally a direct continuation of Halloween 1978. It picks up right after where 78 left off. And the only thing I really have to nitpick about Halloween 2 is rather slow in several moments. But how do I explain this? Remember back in some of my earlier videos, I talk about that slow burn and trying to milk it a little bit? Well, excuse me, they milk it a little too much in certain spots of this movie. And it makes it to where it's just like, oh, okay, can we get to the point now? It's just that. That's pretty much my only nitpick about it. I know whenever I was younger and I watched this movie, I thought it was a different mask on the guy who was playing Michael Myers, because it's shaped differently. It kind of looks a little different, but come to find out, it was under Deborah Hill's bed for 3 years, and apparently she smoked, so it kind of distorted the color a little bit. And plus, Dick Warlock's head's different than Nick Castle's, so that's why it looks different. And I didn't know that till whenever I really started getting into the horror community. So that's my number 2, and I'm sure everybody else can figure out my number 1. Halloween 1978, John Carpenter's Halloween. My favorite horror movie of all time. And I'm sure you know that from my horror ranking, or whenever I was talking horror a while back. But yeah, what can I say about Halloween? There's pretty much a lot that are just going through my head right now just about this movie alone. It holds a special place in my heart, really. And of course, Halloween 4 or Halloween 6 never really gave me nightmares. It was always the very first one. And Michael Myers was the only one who gave me nightmares. None like Freddy or Jason or Leatherface, none of them or Chucky ever gave me nightmares. It was only Michael Myers. And that's actually like really cool in a way. But it's just, this movie is the epitome of what a horror movie should be. It has the perfect balance of slow burn, character development, you know, establishing shots. You have everything that you ever need in a horror movie. And it's only about just under an hour and 30 minutes. So it's a quick horror movie. It flows by rather fast, but the pacing and everything like that is just done very, very well. The performance from Nick Castle, who played the Shape, Michael Myers, is only James Hugh Courtney is up to par with him. No one has ever come close to at least making a run for Nick Castle's money, so you could say. But yeah, Halloween 1978. It's unfucking believable. But anyways, that is my Halloween. That is my Halloween re-ranking, and I hope you guys enjoy it. I hope you guys can appreciate my list. And if you have your own list, be sure to drop it below, or on my Facebook or on some of the horror groups that I'm in, and especially on Twitter as well. And be sure to post your list too, so we can talk about them. And I also have some more videos on the horizon, actually in this upcoming week coming, so stay tuned for that. And remember, I will try to do my live stream this coming Saturday if I'm not working, and I'll definitely keep you all updated this week on social media, and whenever I do a video as well, of whenever I'll be doing that live stream, like what time and everything like that. So stay tuned. But in the meantime, I will talk to you guys later. That Movie Nerd, he's out.